Hi. Look, we're in the same screen.
Nice to see you or hear you or have you hear us.
All of the above, really.
So cool.
So we're not in our respective homes. Respective homes. We are in the airport.
Specifically MCO.
Because we're coming back from Disney.
You're friends with us on Instagram. You saw we were in Disney World this last, I guess, couple of days.
Yeah, long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we'll probably talk about that full trip at a different point. Mostly because we are on a time crunch.
Yeah, we're gonna be boarding in about an hour. But as promised, we wanted to dish on the new live action Little Mermaid movie.
So, first of all, watching it in Disney Springs, it made me love it even more. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
I don't know, just seeing everybody, a lot of people like did some sort of Disney bound, and I thought that was really sweet. There was this one family. So sorry for the announcements. Fingers crossed. I don't.
We'll see.
But there was this one family where like one parent was like, "You are the one that's going to take this photo," to like her son. She was like, "Because you didn't dress up. Like you didn't want to dress up."
Yeah.
That killed me. And she was like in original like or Ariel blue dress corset thingy. It was cute.
Kind of like how the Disneyland princess meet and greet dress looks.
Yes.
If you've seen it, you know.
Bro,
so pretty.
But anyway.
Well, I also bound it as Ariel.
She did. I was Belle.
It was Princess Day.
Princess Day.
You'll see picture. I'll insert a picture of my ears here. We'll see how much editing I feel like to make to this podcast. Mm-hmm. It's really about us telling you what we thought.
Yeah, but also she has a very busy week. It's her birthday.
It's my birthday.
This will be officially out after her birthday, right? After, likely.
Yeah, or the end of the week. But yeah, it's after my birthday, I guess.
So either which way, to wish her.
And Claudia, don't tell Disney World that my birthday wasn't this entire weekend because it wasn't not me wearing a Disney birthday pin the entire time.
Ma'am, Disney wouldn't care.
No.
Because they would be like, "You're right, Bella. It is your birthday."
Yeah, so what a gift having the new Little Mermaid was for me personally. It was one of my favorites growing up. My mom talks about me incessantly playing the original movie and singing Ariel's longing siren song. Now, in retrospect, that's kind of weird. We'll get into it.
I love it.
Constantly. So, I mean, I thought this was a very emotional movie viewing for us.
It was. Literally, the title did not even show up. All we saw were waves and a Hans Christian Andersen quote. And we were like, "Oh my God." And we were crying already. I made a little cry angle.
Not a cry angle.
I did.
Not a cry.
I tried showing you, but like again,
I was crying too.
Rightfully so. You wouldn't be able to see it through your tears.
Wait. Yeah, so what we'll do is we made a couple of points that we want to talk about, like changes in this film that we liked or didn't like, or we're kind of like, about. We'll talk a little bit about the influence of our boy Lin-Manuel Miranda, and apparently this is controversial.
Very.
Hot topic. I wouldn't say unpopular opinion, but just not like an opinion we thought the majority of masses would have.
Yeah. Also, just want to state there absolutely will be spoilers. So if you do not want spoilers, listen once you watch it and then see how you feel.
Come back when you're done.
But don't say we didn't tell you so. So there were a few omissions and additions that I think we should talk about.
Yeah, let's do it.
So one omission, I guess we'll start with that, is editing out some of Ursula's lines in Poor Unfortunate Souls. So, okay. And I've already said this to Christina too. My main gripe is that we have Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is a rhyme master. Like he can come up with a line. Like you've seen him do it like on the fly. And so
the rap battles on the radio and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. And like I
mean, freestyle.
We're here. I knew what you meant. But like I am more upset that they couldn't find something more, I guess like now timing. Modern. Thank you, words. Wow.
I'm the one with the coffee right now, so.
And I've already had two. Maybe I should have a third. But yeah, something more modern to replace those lines. It's the lines that go, the men up there don't like a lot of blabber. They think a girl who gossips is a bore. Yes, on land is much preferred for ladies not to say a word. After all, dear, what is idle prattle for? And so I understand why it was included in the original, and I do think it works with the original. And I understand why it was omitted because, and I believe it was Mencken, Mr. Alan Mencken. He said, praise be. He said that they didn't want young viewers seeing this and getting the wrong idea of like having to withhold their voices and such. And so like, I get that. I do. But I do think that those lines should have been replaced with something more modern to kind of like further push it along. But I do also like what they did. You want to.
Yeah,
you also like
I mean, they cut the whole verse, so I think it was just a little surprising to all of us. Like, who, anyone was obsessed with the movie or has even seen it and like is down with Ursula will hear the change. Like, you'll be singing in your head and the verse is missing.
Yeah,
and it's like very like, oh no. But I also understand why it was taken out. I do think the concept, like you said, in that is important though because of those lines. Because it's Ursula's like cynical, kind of sadistic view of humans and women, and she's trying to sway Ariel. But she wasn't trying to sway Ariel in this live action feature. In fact, that whole scene, she kind of forces her into the deal.
Yeah.
Instead of Ariel making the choice to succumb to her desire to go pursue this man, Ursula uses this to further her own motivation, which is awesome. And for us who, stand villains, it was nice to see like Ursula having more motivation beyond just being like nasty. Oh, she had a lot of motivation actually. When we read her book a few weeks ago, was that last week? Sorry. When I read Ursula's terrible book in the multiverse of Disney,
and I got mad,
and Greek mythology, we learned in that book that Triton is actually her brother, and they upheld that in this story, which was helpful because it definitely furthered along the reason why Ursula needed Ariel to upset and capture Triton.
Yeah, because in order for her, because her main motive is to like seek the power of the ocean and basically get revenge for her brother being a douche to her.
Right. I mean,
for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And it's just like I do agree that I like the forcing because it shows that like she being Ursula has a lot at stake. And that she needs Ariel in order to make her plans of getting back at Triton happen.
Agreed.
And it makes her more desperate, and I like that.
Yeah, it just gave her like a true villain's mission. Like she wasn't just some random sea witch, which is more akin to like how it was presented in Hans's tale,
Yes. And I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, go off.
So another omission that I noticed, especially given my little visual share last time of the vocal nodules, vocal polyps, Ursula did not keep a garden of polyps.
No.
That's going to be really loud slamming.
That is sorry.
Ursula did not have a polyp garden. Her lost souls were actually just skeletons. So we saw some really good human fish bones in her area.
Yeah.
And then like Triton gets obliterated for a minute, for like 10 minutes.
So he low-key turns into Bubbles. Well, Sud.
Yeah. So we had
just like Sud, Bubbles. Anyway,
we got the sea
foam. That's the word. I'm doing great. How are
Hans
you?
Christian Andersen's sea foam. We got that in Triton's brief demise.
Yes. And so, I mean, I'm good with that. Yeah, with him, because I don't know. It feels like there's more at stake with that than him just being a polyp.
Yeah, Ariel got to see like, oh my God, my decision just led to the death of my father, and now this woman's gonna take over the oceans.
Yes.
All for 10 minutes. Maybe less, but it's okay.
But like also the other thing with Ursula that I liked, and it adds to her villainy, if you will, is they added a term and condition that is not mentioned. So like in the original, girl, if you've seen, she lays it out flat. This is the deal. You got 3 days. Sun sets on the 3rd day. You turn back to a mermaid and you belong to me. Now here,
pursue that kiss, Ariel. Pursue that kiss.
Pursue that kiss. And Ariel, in this modern retelling, isn't told that there is a term and condition that involves amnesia, that she does not remember that she needs to kiss the prince in order to keep them and maintain her human form. And so I personally, I liked that it adds more villainy to her, like more of a sense of being a villain, because to me in the original, Ursula was just like very matter of fact, like, this is what it is. This is what's going to happen. Sign. Sign the scroll. I know you want it, right?
Yeah.
But here it's, again, the desperation, and it's to the point that she's so desperate to include but omit in telling her of the terms and conditions this amnesia clause.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was great, and I think it added to Ursula.
Mm-hmm, I agree. And it also then gave us more like of Ariel's friends. So her CGI animal cast, co-stars, because they knew the whole thing.
Yes.
They knew what they needed to do. So we got to see them like their camaraderie on land, between water and air and land, which was really cool. Like she had a guard in the air, on the land, in the water. Everyone was looking out for Ariel, trying to promote the kiss, right? Yeah. Trying to get her to do the kiss. And that also kind of helped along the kiss the girl.
Yes, it does. And we're going to get to kiss the girl. But still on the note of amnesia, I think, because I feel like there's this thing with suspense, and it happens in a lot of movies where it's like, especially in horror, if you will, that the audience knows something that the main character doesn't know.
It's a dramatic irony.
I believe so. And so it adds to the suspense that you have within as the watcher, that you're just like, oh my God, you're so close. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Come on. Or like when you're watching a movie and like you see that the killer is going into the bathroom, and you see the protagonist going through, and they're searching, and you're like, please God, don't go into the bathroom. You're like, son of a bitch, you're going into the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So I think the amnesia clause added that too.
I agree.
So I liked that.
Yeah, it was great, and it added it added the tension to her to her friends. And by friends, I'm talking about Flounder, Sebastian, and Scuttle. The whole time they're freaking out because they're like, she has to do this, and for some reason she doesn't know anymore that she has to do this. Like she's gonna get screwed over.
But they do put it together pretty quickly.
Yes.
Which I do enjoy. I mean, do you want to talk about? I don't know. Tell me what you want to talk about.
Okay, so let's see. Let's go into our motives and personality.
Okay, I love that. Want to talk about Eric?
Yeah. So
all right.
We officially, I think both of us, Claudia, we agree that Eric is now our prince. Like he's our favorite Disney prince because of the development we got from this Prince Eric, not OG Prince Eric.
Garbage.
I mean, he just was like boring.
He was
nothing.
flat.
He was flat. He was really flat. I mean, he saved Max the dog, which was iconic of him, and he did that again in this version, which was mandatory because that's why Ariel has to save him, Eric.
Yes,
from the shipwreck. But we get more dimension in Eric. For example,
he's an
orphan. So the ruler of the Caribbean, South American island where they govern is his adoptive mother. But he's also like very adventurous, and he longs for the sea. And I thought that was such a dope foil for Ariel, who longs for the land, and the air. So they definitely like their paths were going to cross at some point because they were always looking for each other.
Yes,
that was cool. But also, when Ariel's like snooping on the ship, and she's listening to him talk about compassion and adventure, and like I want progress in my like island area, like I don't want us to get left behind. We could see like her having a reason to become obsessed with this random human boy.
Yeah, outside of just him being like pretty.
Right. Yeah, which is definitely what our OG version gave.
Yeah, and like yes, OG Prince Eric, very pretty, so pretty. But call me old fashioned. I need a personality to go with pretty.
Tall, dark, and pale, and handsome. I don't know.
But either which way,
I like this development of this Eric. And this also then plays into, we know Triton hates humans, but Eric's whole this whole speech that Ariel overhears, where he's talking about progress, travel, and adventure, and he just wants more. He wants to be in the sea. Totally contrasts what Ariel's been told about humans this whole time by her father. And her father, of course, when she brings it up to him, is just, he goes and destroys her room, which is the same.
Still just traumatized.
PTSD. Honestly. I jumped.
Yeah. But what else with Eric? I also really, really like when they're going through, so they're going through the town and like she's exploring everything and like
Oh, and she has legs.
When she has legs. And I do love that you see him being more playful with her, that like there's more interaction between them. And even before then, Eric doesn't necessarily love her immediately. He sees her and he's just like, "Oh, hey, what's your name?" And she doesn't speak and he's like visibly disappointed. And he's just like, "Oh, I guess we'll keep searching for her." Crazy. Doop, 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 doop. But like you see that development, and yes, it's still within 3 days. It's still giving Romeo and Juliet. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah, and they are teenagers too.
He's 21. Calm down. He had a 21st birthday.
Was that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, he's cradle robbing.
I mean, they don't really disclose how old she is. In my brain, she was 18.
I thought 16. Sebastian said, "I'm not your teenage babysitter."
I mean,
18
is still
18 is teenage. And maybe mermaid years are different. I don't know.
It's like dogs and cat years.
Deus ex machina. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, but but yeah, I do like the development that they added to him. They gave him a song.
Contentious.
Yeah, like okay.
Was that in the Broadway show? You said no, right?
I think he had an "I Want" song, but I don't think it was that "I Want" song.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I liked his "I Want" song. I think his "I Want" song was coming off a little more bratty than like Ariel's "I Want" song, if that makes any sense. But like by the end of the "I Want" song, I was like, all right, you slap.
Yeah, his song definitely informed us how much he wants the ocean, and whereas like Part of Your World informs us how much Ariel wants the land, yes. And I mean, eventually him. Mm-hmm. But it didn't bother me.
No. And like he belted, but honestly, like nothing compares to Miss Bailey.
She's incredible. If for no other reason, go see it to hear just her version of everything. And
we'll get there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then Trident. I
kind of just touched on it. He hates humans, yeah. But the Ursula.
Yeah, and like I think overall the addition of Ariel's mom being killed by humans gives him that motive to hate humans, whereas in the original we don't necessarily like get that.
She's just MIA.
Yeah, it's more like a he's a human, you're a mermaid, nothing's gonna happen. Like humans suck. But like we don't get any sort of reason as to why he believes that humans suck. And so I do like that we get that motivation, we get that personality, so to speak. I think Javier did a good job of like being playful, and then like when he was just like, Sebastian,
is my daughter in love?
Is my daughter in love? Because like that's crazy. That explains everything. And like you saw the playfulness, but then he was giving trauma when trauma needed to be given. Right. But like I felt that original Trident, he showed his immediate regret, like as he's leaving the cavern. But Javier was like, no, I am justified in my actions.
Yeah.
And I am not going to go back on that. And it's not until they discover that Ariel's gone that you see him visibly like reflecting like, oh damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that, you know? So I like that.
Yeah. I thought this has nothing to do with motive and personality. He was hired for his side profile and his voice. Because that was everything. You hear the announcement, you're in the airport with us. His profile and his voice were everything that animated Trident was trying to give.
Yes.
He's not like as swole as cartoon Trident.
Although I did like his iridescent armor.
He had iridescent, really cool mother of pearl armor. Yes. And he had a very long tail. He was a very long merman.
I guess as you grow older, your tail gets more scales and you get longer. I don't know.
That's all I got. And like he had a cape of a school of fish, which was kind of cool. So I don't know. I liked it. I think that was cool. So from Triton, his Sebastian is his personal assistant or Grand Vizier. He's his Jafar, but not like evil. Not trying to take over.
Never that.
I thought David Diggs did the thing.
He did
And I also
the thing.
love him so much. If you don't know, David Diggs is from the OG cast of Hamilton.
Lafayette
and Jefferson. So it was really cool to see him reunite with Lin-Manuel Miranda in the score because there were a lot of new lyrics that Lin-Manuel was responsible for.
Yes. And I do think that Sebastian was already a personality to start with. But I do think that he added his own flair and personality to Sebastian. You see, I think where they have similarities, you see the love and the care that Sebastian has for Ariel.
Yeah.
Like it, but he brought the funny in. He laid it on. And
he did.
It just, I thought that was a great thing to add. The humor of like just the
adolescent babysitting.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Adolescent babysitting. And then my other favorite, coming back to the Triton asking if Ariel's in love, he brought back the original Sebastian reaction that he's just like, all right, just be normal, you're gonna be great.
Yeah.
Just like, Sebastian, yes. Yes. And like, it just, again, the way that he personified this crab was great. I am not going to lie that the image of this crab was startling when it first was released, but I found it to be endearing as we kept going.
So I thought the original Flounder release was disturbing.
That was very.
And I didn't find him so creepy in the movie, but I felt Sebastian looked a little more surprising when we finally were like, there are a lot of close-ups of his face, and it was just a choice. It was a choice. I think Flounder looked great. The we'll talk about scenery after.
Yeah.
We'll get to the scenery. But the final motive.
The final motive. My boy Grimsley.
So we like Grimsley because he's Eric's like keeper.
And dad. He's low-key his dad.
Yeah, especially in this version. It was really cute to see some Grimsley really care for Eric and his well-being rather than just like keeping in line with princely duties. So like once Eric starts to fall for Ariel, Grimsley's like covering up his tracks and stuff, which was really cute. So Grimsley's motive was really to keep Eric safe and content, and we loved that.
Yeah, and even with the Vanessa scene, like there was this moment with the ring, and the ring goes flying out of her hands because of Scuttle, and Grimsley, he sees the ring and he's just like, whoop, and kicks it away.
Yeah, he's like, I don't see a damn ring. He's not marrying this
ring.
Not marrying this bitch.
Nope. So I do like the emphasis that we put on Grimsley being his keeper, being his second caretaker.
Yeah, and also starkly contrasting with Triton.
Oh yes, very much.
So like Grimsley and Eric's his mother, they want Eric to be happy but safe on land. So that's what's similar. But Grimsley really, really wants Eric to be happy more than anything else.
Yeah.
So I like that.
And I think in terms of personalities and motives, I think that they killed it.
I do too. We had character development in places I wasn't expecting it, so I thought that was really cool.
Yes. So I think those additions were phenomenal.
Yeah, it helped compel. It kept everybody and everything compelling.
Yes. I mean, we want to talk about Lin?
Okay, so we already mentioned Lin-Manuel Miranda. So he's on the score. He created another song or two, and it was kind of like as soon as the lyrics dropped, we looked at each other in the dark. We were like, "That's Lin."
Hamilton.
Like you can't. Yeah, it was Hamilton. Like you cannot mistake the internal rhyme, the silly lyrics and stuff.
The beats.
The beats. So, does it sound like Alan Menken? Absolutely not. No. There's nothing similar. Like that's part of why it was like, oh, okay, here's one of the Lin songs,
And so like I can absolutely understand how people were very much like, these two are very, very starkly different styles.
Yeah.
And be, I don't want to say up in arms about it, but upset by it, that it's not like matching the styles, because again, that is very abrupt, it's very startling, but I don't know, I think specifically with Scuttlebutt, which is Scuttle's song, I liked it.
Yeah, and I thought it was fitting.
It was fun.
You know, we love Aquafina. She's from New York, rep Queens.
Her.
And she was a rapper first before anything else. We listened to her when she was a rapper, before she was Nora from Queens, before she was in Raya, before everything.
And I think, yes, when you hear it, you're like, damn, that's Hamilton. But it's also just a very, it's also a very good song, and it fits the scuttle that she made, that she's created for herself.
Yeah, for sure. And also, like, the premise is, it's when, you know, Scuttle comes in to wake up Ariel to be like, you're engaged. And it's, like, not right. She's not engaged. It's Vanessa, who just came into the enchantment. So Scuttle's dishing. So, like, what better modality to dish than to rap? I just thought it was really smart.
Yeah, and I think that was a great utilization of Lin-Manuel Miranda's, sorry, I shook this, Lin-Manuel Miranda's talents, and really showcasing that. And another example of that would be the consensual lines.
Ah, yes.
That are in Kiss the Girl. So the lines that I think...
Oh, the speech pathologist line.
Oh, yes. So I think it's you're dying to try, kiss the girl. Yes, you want her, look at her, you know you do. It's possible she wants you to. There is one way to ask her. So that gets replaced with possible she wants you to. Use your words, boy, and ask her if the time is right and the time is tonight. Go on and kiss the girl.
So it's a conditional.
Yeah, like I never like necessarily thought about the original lyrics and how
y'all, you're coming on our flight with us.
We're doing our
best. You're just here. You're just here with us.
I love that for you. Oh. Thankfully, that's not ours. That's a final. But with that, I never really thought about the original lyrics not being consensual, because I guess like that's just how, I don't know, Disney kind of brainwashed me in a sense.
Part of it.
I mean, it was fun.
I also think it's Ariel is looking to get the kiss.
Yes.
In the original version. She's not having amnesia where she doesn't know that's what she's trying to do. Mm-hmm. So in that version, she's like doing everything, and her comrades are helping her. So I think it was more pushing him to do it. Yeah. Which actually now is kind of confusing. So I guess with this new amnesia clause in Ursula's
what do you mean?
Plan. So now that Ariel doesn't know she's supposed to kiss him, she's not pursuing it. Now it has to be a consensual kiss.
That's very true. Because, I mean, in order for it to be a true love,
it has to be consensual.
It has to be consensual.
Two ways.
Two ways.
Ooh, family of two on the ride.
But yeah, I do think that these new consensual lines do apply and make sense with the addition of the amnesia, like you were saying. And I do like the way that they were presenting Kiss the Girl, that it's basically just the three of them. That it's Sebastian, Scuttle, and Flounder doing this. Instead of like all the turtles, all the flamingos that oh, okay.
Aw.
I can't.
We're sad we're leaving Disney too.
Yeah. I want to go back in. But I like that it's just three of them doing it, and that it's more so if Ariel sees us, like she's not gonna want this. She's gonna want us to like back up. So like it needs to be just for Eric. Like Eric is the only one that needs to hear.
Yeah, they were like whispering in his ear and stuff. It was cute.
Yeah.
It was like,
and it added to the funny too. With Sebastian.
Oh, for sure.
Being under the hat.
The sidekick energy was strong.
Oh yeah. And like at least in the original, again, Ariel is in on it. She knows what's happening. She's like, ooh, I'm gonna play up my batting.
Oh my god, it was non-consensual for Eric in the original.
I'm crying. Stop.
That's what it was.
But you're not wrong.
Oh my god.
Wow, in the original, poor Eric gets brainwashed so many times because he's so pretty and has no personality.
But now, I mean, like, even when he's brainwashed by Vanessa, even at that point, he's still like, I feel weird. She's just like kind of stringing him along on this enchantment until the sun sets, which was cool.
Yes.
But I have a burning question.
Oh, burn.
So how did you feel? So we had, Aquafina had her own little rap song. Aquafina did the thing at Scuttle, but you didn't get your.
I know.
How'd you feel about that? I didn't want to do that too much because we're around some people now, so.
Oh, I will.
I know.
But like honestly, we rewatched the original like last week.
Yeah.
In preparation, like just to have it fresh in our minds, to have a true comparison going on.
And also to honor Miss Jodie Benson, the original Ariel voice.
Which, by the way, she makes a cameo.
So great.
It's so cute. She's still giving princess.
Yeah. Let's not spoil the cameo.
No. We'll just say she's
spoil everything else.
Yeah. Still princess. But like, I love them. It even to this day makes me laugh because it's just so ridiculous. And it makes me so happy because it's so cringy.
It's bad.
So I wish that her wah 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 was better. But there was some semblance of it there.
And she had her own.
And she had her whole own thing.
So you know who didn't have a whole thing? So let's just wrap up our Lin-Manuel conversation. Yes. So we read that he was also cameoing. He was going to be the chef. And the chef has that whole stupid French scene with Sebastian trying to serve him in a platter. So
we were excited because both of us love Hamilton. And so we loved that they were going to be on screen together, basically giving us cabinet rap battle.
Daveed Diggs and
yes, thank you.
Miranda reunited, but now in opposition, Jefferson Hamilton rap battle, right?
And that was cut.
So the scene was definitely cut, or maybe we were just misled and we have to do better research. We even waited till the end of the freaking long ass credits to see if it was like the end scene. Nope, we didn't have an end scene for this. So y'all, when the credits start rolling, walk out.
Yeah, like the credits look pretty, but once the pretty credits go, you can leave. I mean, you can also acknowledge the other people that worked on it.
I'm sorry.
So that's yes, true. Acknowledge them, love them.
But don't expect like an Avengers shawarma thing at the end.
So ridiculous. But yeah, so I was very hyped for that. And at one point, like, after Vanessa and Eric's engagement was announced, we were like, oh, it's coming. And then it didn't.
it never showed up.
So low-key, I'm hoping that there is a deleted scene to find, because that will bring me such joy. Another thing that we do need to mention, the actress that plays Vanessa.
Oh my gosh.
8. Left no crumbs. And she's only on the screen, like total, maybe like 5 minutes. And that's me being generous. But she left an impression.
Yeah, she's also lip syncing for her life, like the entire time, because she's using Ursula's voice or Ariel's voice, like not her own.
Correct. But like she ate like every single crumb.
Yeah, we were like so enthralled. We leaned over and we were like, her audition was the psychotic girlfriend face, and she was hired. Like that was what it was. Automatically.
And so another thing that I need to bring up, because a lot of people were super duper excited about the diversity amongst the sisters and everything. How'd you feel?
I thought it was a great concept. I thought they were beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I didn't think we got enough personalities. Like I think this like the dolls came out and I was really excited. Like I want to get them and put them on a shelf. Like they look beautiful. Like the array of just colors and like different cultures are kind of blended in there. Like and Triton says these are his daughters of the 7 seas. So I guess that's the patriarchy. So implying that he, has a queen in each sea. Even though we know there are 36 seas or whatever the hell I'm
pretty sure it's 76, 72.
So he should have 72 daughters, but whatever. He has 7 daughters, 1 in each major oceanic dimension place.
Although remember, there are a lot of uncharted seas. at this point of the film.
Oh, that's right, because Ariel even
So,
has
7.
so there's just 7 for
Still
now.
7.
Oh, yeah, this is an old yeah, they had 7. They didn't know any better. I guess Triton also didn't, as the ruler of the sea.
Crazy.
Crazy.
I also I was like,
No, just it's crazy.
we finish each other's
Sandwiches. But what did you think about them?
I thoroughly enjoyed their diversity. I loved that we had sisters all over. However, I do feel that they were underutilized. I think it
Yeah.
would have been really, really cute to have like, I don't know, like just a cute little song where they're like talking about Ariel being in love and
Like, or their opening number in the animated version.
yeah, but the way that they open up this particular film, I don't know if it would have been applicable or made sense. Because like the whole start of it is that there's like this harvest moon or something.
You know what it should have been?
What?
It should have been kind of like a song that the nuns sing about Maria and this kind of music. How do we solve a problem like Ariel? That should have been a song that they sang.
That would have been cute too. Like it could either or. I would have been, but I feel like that we being Disney, obviously, Disney, Disney, the image of these lovely people, these lovely actresses portraying these gorgeous, beautiful sisters, and we only see them on screen total 2 minutes.
I don't even think they all had lines.
No, they didn't. And if they did, it was like, oh, and like I just I wish that they were used a little bit more, because I do think that like inclusion, diversity is something that is stupid important, and it's something that has been more of an emphasis. I feel with Disney, or Disney's at least trying to make it more of an emphasis or putting forth more effort to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And to only give us 2 minutes of content with the most diverse set of sisters that we've had in a very long time is just a little upsetting, a little disappointing for me. Because again, I was looking forward to seeing like the different sisterly dynamics. Like, you know, you don't see your sisters all the time. Like, talk to me more about how that annoys you that, like, you know, you didn't get to see Ariel because she was out exploring, chilling with Scuttle. You know,
even Hans Christian Andersen spotlights each sister for a paragraph in the original story.
He does.
What they do when they first surface, and sniff the night's air, whatever the hell they do. I don't know. They're not sniffing the air, whatever they're doing. When they're allowed to go to the top when they turn 16. So we get a spotlight on each of them, and that's a little bit personality.
Yeah, and I just, again, overall, just to not continue harping on it, because I will just end up repeating myself how disappointed I am. I just wish there was more with it.
I wonder if we're going to have like a plethora of deleted scenes. Maybe we are missing, maybe they cut this because it wasn't furthering like the plot. Just like Lin-Manuel singing with Debbie Diggs.
I mean, it's true. And the movie already, as it stands now, is a 2 hour and like 15-minute movie compared to the 90 minutes that the OG was.
It did not feel like 2 hours.
I enjoyed it. Oh, and the last one, if you would like to take her.
Okay, so a big change, the largest change of all, has nothing to do with Hans Christian Andersen's story, has nothing to do with Ursula's origin story book that I just read.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with the animated features closing scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have big Ursula with the crown. She just disintegrated Titan into sea foam, and now Eric and Ariel are like swirling in this typhoon together on these like multiple shipwrecks. And Ariel steers the ship into anti-Ursula and commits Tia-side.
Not Tia-side. I love it.
I don't know how I felt.
I liked it.
Yeah, I guess again we can't have the prince saving the princess. I think that was why they made the change.
Absolutely. And I think because Eric also wasn't necessarily helpless, like he was absolutely helping, I think, the cause of killing or getting rid of Ursula or fighting her. But I do like that Ariel was the one to kill, because it almost shows like, you know, it was in you all along. Like, you don't need no man.
True.
you know?
Yeah. Well, when you phrase it that way, yeah.
Because even when it comes to her getting her voice back, it's very similar to, actually, a little different.
That was different too.
A little different because I think the way that it was in the film was Scuttle comes by in the OG. Scuttle comes, rips the necklace off, drops it on the floor, and I forget who steps on it. I can't remember if it was Ariel in the OG or somebody else. But cracks it, and then ooh, we're back. But in this, Ariel is the one that rips off, I believe, the necklace.
She sees it.
Because she sees it and she's like, this bitch. She sees it around Vanessa's neck, rips it after they like tussle a little bit.
Cat fight.
Meow. And then Ariel steps on it, and then we get like this beautiful little like floating like siren's voice in a bubble. And everybody's like, the fuck is that? And then boom. And so again, she's repeatedly showing that she don't need no man.
Right.
You know, like, I don't need no man to save me. I got me. Like, I saw my opportunity to get my voice back, and I did.
Yeah. So she does a lot of Elsa-ing,
Yeah,
which was cool because we love Elsa for that. So I think they brought her into more of a modern. They tried to make it the original story is not misogynistic. I mean, she like sacrifices her whole life for a dream to be with a man that she can't be with, right?
and land.
So in here, she had a lot more control over her destiny. Even her getting involved in the deal wasn't her choice completely.
No.
Like she pursued it to get some questions answered, and then she got like coerced into it.
Yes.
But you mentioned the siren song. So another thing I thought was really cool that they added was that her beautiful crescendo is a siren song, like meant to lure sailors in. And then we have that whole piece where they kind of give that exposition to people who don't know lore of mermaids. Welcome to our channel. They give you the whole like, oh, sirens lead men to their death, they tempt you, they bring you in, whatever. So ironically, when Ariel rescues Eric, she's singing her siren song, which rouses him, and then he does get lured into her. Which is great, but he already had like a longing for the sea.
Yes.
But I just thought that was really cool. So basically Ursula captures her siren song, which Ursula says,
and she even says it too.
She says it, which makes her powerless, which is essentially still encapsulating the lines they took out of Poor Unfortunate Souls.
That is true.
Without saying it overtly.
Yeah, and even like in her lack of having a voice, Ariel, she's still this Ariel is stronger than other Ariel.
Oh hell yeah.
Because like the magnetism, like I don't know, if it's like the power of attraction or like the means. Oh my god, you didn't talk about in Kiss the Girl, the Ariel.
Oh, the speech therapy. Okay, we'll get there. Hold on.
So I think and this connects to what Christina's going to talk about, the speech therapy tactic that happens. She is still a very capable person, even after the transformation. And so they maintain that capability that she has despite her being mute.
Yeah, so like she again, going back to you, like she don't need no man. She doesn't. She has a siren song and she's able to woo him without using even that because she doesn't need him. She just has this extra power. So I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, and the speech therapy moment.
So in Kiss the Girl, he's trying to guess her name. Eric is trying to guess her name in the boat and she cannot speak because her voice is gone. And in the animated film, Sebastian is whispering it, or like the reeds are whispering it. Nature helps enable him. So that I said to you in the theater, I was like, oh my god, it's speech therapy. Because Ariel starts using all these compensatory strategies to help him get the name, because Ariel doesn't know that her comrades, her sidekicks, are facilitating kind of this boat ride scenario. So Eric had just finished showing her this constellation, and he said Aries. So Ariel's like pointing to that constellation. So Eric's like, air, and then she like punches him in the face. She's like, okay, like charades, first syllable, one syllable. So he's like, air, air, air. It's Ariel, right?
Mm-hmm.
and until he can get the final syllable of her name.
So he's continuously saying Aries, and then she like puts her finger like down his lips.
She uses like these tactile cues to help him close the syllable into Ariel.
And then he's like, Aries. And then he's like,
Please
Ariel.
watch this clip.
Ariel? And then she's like,
wasn't he so lucky though that it wasn't like some made up mermaid name and it was like a name that he probably has encountered before?
oh, I'm just thinking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, or her other sisters who have all those other names, like Atlanta.
Well, no, their names were different. They weren't like the Aquatas.
Aquata. How would she have cued that? I'm sorry.
Aquata.
Yeah.
We're great. And so I come to you know what? Before I talk about special effects, do you think any of these omissions or additions, and I mean, I feel like we did cover it, but do you think that this should encourage people to see them, discourage people to see this movie? How should they approach these omissions and additions?
I think it's kind of like if you were a kid or whatever, when Harry Potter movies first started to come out, and you were going in expecting an exact rendition of Prisoner of Azkaban, and then Alfonso Cuarón comes in and does his own thing with it, and it took you a few watches to be like, this is actually phenomenal. That's kind of the maybe personal. Maybe that was a little personal.
No.
That's my favorite Harry Potter book. But you know, when you were going into those movies and you were expecting all these details, and then they had to like band-aid over some plot points to like make it fit into 2 hours. So for this, they had to expand it a little and make it like less misogynistic.
Very.
So I think going in and knowing that it's the same story at heart, because it is based off of a fairy tale, but the fairy tale itself was changed. It had to be even in 1989. Disney knew they had to change that and give it a happy ending because it wasn't a nice story. It was kind of really sad. So she gets the guy in the end. It's just the journey she goes on to get there is even more, I think, progressive today than it was in '89. So I think, you know, some folks around Disney World had already seen it twice, and it literally just came out on Friday. Today is Sunday. Today's Monday.
Yes, today is Monday. Which I also find very funny because a few reviews said that they really doubt that there's a rewatchability to this. And I really feel like some reviewers underestimate how, like, the anticipation that came with this film and genuinely how well they did to adapt it to modern times.
And also the fact that just by hiring Halle Bailey. I almost said Halle Berry, and then that was
I know, it always messes me up.
I'm just like this. The letters are the same.
Both are great humans, I feel.
So just by hiring Halle, you have opened up that Princess Looks Like Me for so many girls and boys and people and whoever across the world who are now like, that's my princess. Like, I get that's like, you know, our relatability is added in a land where only there were a few diverse princesses prior.
And even then, like someone like me, for example, I only had 2 princesses to really identify, and one of them isn't even acknowledged to be a princess, truly. Oh, Pocahontas, as well as who is Native American. And my brain.
Esmeralda?
Esmeralda is also not a princess.
I know.
Jasmine. Those are the 3 that were the closest to me in my features. And so I can only imagine how it would be to be a young Black girl, to not see yourself until Princess Tiana came out. And this is further adding to, again, that importance of diversity, that inclusion that is so needed in Disney as a whole, because it is predominantly white.
Yeah, and it's Disney's mission to be you, be proud of you, and, you know, to be relatable to everybody so they can flourish, right? So, like, why would you only have blonde princesses? Yeah. Even I didn't relate to half those princesses in the 90s.
Right. And, like, and arguably, and I'm sure others will argue, Disney Renaissance is the best. At least the second Renaissance, the 90s. Well, 89 to when it did. But even then, like, again, it's just the gravity of this film is more than just Disney expanding on live action and monetizing over becoming, like, creating these older films into live action. It's being more inclusive. It's being, to quote Prince Eric, to progress toward, to not stay stuck in the past.
Disney should
To
be Prince
progress.
Eric. Look at them. Saved by a princess.
You know, but like, again, I think that this was merited. I think currently, out of all the live actions, this is the best live action rendition that we've
Girl.
got. With the exception of, actually, I would say it's on par with like Jungle Book, because that's,
I heard. I
it
actually
was
did
good.
see it.
Go for it.
I'm
It's
going
great.
to.
I know.
And we
Girl, you busy. I know.
we haven't watched Peter Pan yet, but that just came out.
That's it. That's
So
it.
hold.
So asterisk, but I'm pretty confident that we're still good. I'm right. We're both gonna be right about this. And again, I feel, and a lot of these reviewers who aren't people of color saying such things, I think you have no right to say such things. So sorry. Because again,
They're missing like a whole piece of reacting. Like, look at your eyes tearing up.
I know, stop.
Like, y'all can't see it, but
stop. It's just, again, it's a big deal. Like, and it's not even like someone who stopped. Like, it's not even like for me.
it's just representation matters, and it's just another take on a classic tale, and it's an even stronger character who now more girls can relate to, and like love and adore, and look up to, and that's what's important.
Yeah, stop.
So that's yeah. So if you are a white reviewer, bye.
Just consider outside of you. That's all I'm saying. Bug.
No, I was just trying to like cut their heads off with that sound.
Right. Literally. Oh my god. My major qualm.
Yeah, and I think the people. Everyone has a different opinion of visuals.
Course.
Let's like summarize the visuals since we are a literature channel and we're here for the literature.
Okay.
Tell us.
So with the special effects, listen, this whole movie is CGI. Like that, there's no mistaking it.
No.
And I have to say, one of the things that I loved, not many people loved it, is the differentiation of like deep sea versus like where Trident lives. And it's also emphasized in Ursula too, that like she is bioluminescent, and it shows that she's adapted to her surroundings. And in order to adapt to those surroundings, you need to be in darkness. And so, I'm like, ooh, science. Look at Disney being sciencey. And so I enjoyed that. And overall, the CGI with Ursula was just chef's kiss. The personification that Melissa McCarthy did of Ursula is fantastic.
Yes.
I do still feel that to be very accurate, or a bit more accurate to the inspiration of Ursula, we should have.
Sorry, we might have friends now.
So sorry. We should have had someone who is part of the drag community be Ursula, or even a person of color. I would have loved Lizzo or Queen Latifah being Ursula as well. I think it would have been.
Yeah, we know Queen already slayed, so.
And if you've seen Lizzo's audition tape for it, I'll show you. Girl.
Link in bio.
It's so well done. Or like it was one that she was like dicking around at home or something. But either which way, it was amazing. And so like, again, Melissa McCarthy also ate. Like she did the thing. And so that's just for me. Like I will admit that.
Yeah, I think it was one of those like we were holding our breaths for it, and then expectations were met. Like it was great. She did a phenomenal job.
Yeah. And so coming back to special effects. Still on Ursula though. When she becomes large, when she becomes
A Kraken.
Ursula, when she becomes Ursula,
No.
yes, Ursula. She.
I'm crying.
Oh, okay. I've got. Anyway,
So I wrote
it's extremely dark, and this could go many ways because in this darkness you could still see like peeking through like some like prosthetics of like gills coming in. You don't necessarily see any more from like her nose.
It was giving very much like Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Like, hello, darkness, my old friend.
Right. And so like I would have enjoyed maybe just a smidge more lighting, maybe up lighting. And it almost feels as if, and like we talked about it feels as if like they were trying to conceal something, whether it was bad CGI, bad makeup, bad something. But I think overall they just had bad darkness. And I get it, we're in a storm, it's brooding, but like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Y'all or like we were running towards the end of the budget and we were just like, we've already asked for too much. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I think the underwater scenes were meant to look, we talked about this too, like they're meant to look kind of whimsical, right?
Yeah, of course.
So her scene was obviously, this is what, when she's big and taking at the very end, it was not meant to look whimsical, it was meant to look terrifying. So very, very Space Mountain. So like Typhoon in the dark. So maybe that's what they were going for, but we all wanted to see. Sorry, Melissa is very expressive. Like I would have loved to see her wrath and her insanity. We couldn't really see anything except just the silhouette of evil and the storm, and then Eric and Ariel. But
yeah, and like it could. Okay, if I'm pulling out my English degree, excuse me.
Oh, there it is.
It could also be illustrating the conflict between good and evil in that sense, like the visual representation of it. But even then, like, I don't know. I still think that her being as powerful and as witchy as she is, she would still be glowing with something.
Even Jafar, when he becomes big and dark, you can still see it. Yeah, and I think in the live action, actually, it was still very. I don't remember.
I don't remember. I need to rewatch that part.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know if we're wrong.
If you saw that, if you thought of that comparison also, and if you thought one was better than the other. Jafar or Ursula's takeover moment.
Yeah, I just don't know how to pick up chairs.
There's a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, but there were some minor things like when she is climbing up the rock, she being Ariel is climbing up the rock, like there was some like weird like jumping with her hands that I kind of noticed. But again, if you're in it, like you're immersed, like you're not going to notice it. It was just in that moment I was just like, that was jump in editing. That was a choice. Okay.
I actually missed that completely, but
that's why, like, I don't know.
Whereas I thought the hair movement in the water was phenomenal. And a huge gripe we always have with like princesses who are wet is that they always look perfect. And it's not that Halle didn't look perfect. She did. But she looked like she was underwater. Like it helped me suspend that disbelief that she was, perfect bang. Like her hair was like constantly all over her.
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome.
And
it looked, Triton too. Even his beard was moving in the water. It was so cool. It was
great. And there was another effects related thing. I feel like the shift in like the coloring between land and sea, and I think you touched on this when we were talking, that it was also kind of startling. Like I personally would have
pre-conference.
Yeah. Personally, I would have wanted to stay underwater. It just seemed more like bright, beautiful. And like, again, it's just a matter of showing realism, like what it actually is like on land versus like, CGI.
Yeah, whimsy underwater.
Yeah, whimsy underwater.
And I think you know, when you're doing something that's a fantasy world juxtaposed with actual like Prince Eric's castle in a real human world, like they can't look same. You know what I mean? Like the underwater castle can't look like Eric's castle.
Although I was disappointed in the underwater castle.
I was too.
Like
budget, I guess. She didn't spend much time there, so why bother?
No, but like the outside, because you do see like the mermaids like going.
Listen, nothing's gonna look like the castle in Magic Kingdom, okay? Cinderella's castle? Yeah. So I think, you know, even the lighting was different because they were trying to give like that underwater cast of brightness and pastels and neons, kind of like versus on land where everything was like normal lighting and whatever. And then Ursula was plunged into the darkness, right? So that was a great like 3 different kind of chambers of light. But
I'm bringing up the Hans Christian Andersen quote at the start.
Oh, okay. So as we near the end of, let's open at the close.
Open at the close. Oh my god.
So we mentioned before that there was a Hans Christian Andersen quote at the very, very beginning of this, which we loved because we read this not 3 weeks ago. We read the original short story.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's, but a mermaid has no tears, and therefore she suffers so much more. So I thought that was an interesting quote to include there. Because we already know that Ariel is suffering under this water.
With her father's rules.
Yeah. With her father's rules. And like, although she's not like legitimately crying, you still see her suffering. She's unable to truly, I guess, like emphasize how much suffering she's going through because she can't necessarily like, she doesn't have tear ducts, I guess, to do such a thing, or it would just blend in with the water itself. And
he's not hearing her either.
Correct.
So it's just,
and I thought that was an interesting quote to choose from Hans, from our boy, primarily because, again,
so Triton's suffering never ends because he never becomes human.
That's true.
And we didn't learn about the 7 sisters, so can't speak on that.
No.
Ursula's suffering only ends when she dies. And she's not a mermaid. We know she's a Cecalia, but still a sea creature. Lumped in with mer people.
Prince Eric, he's suffering because similarly to Ariel, he's experienced, actually differing from Ariel, he's experienced what freedom is. And to him, freedom is sailing in the however many seas exist during his time. And he is getting that freedom taken away from him. And so at that point, he is suffering due to the limitations that his mom is putting onto him.
Yeah.
As well as his need to explore, his need to progress. And for him, progressing means you are learning from others. And, you know, having that being prevented for him is a huge deal.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, I don't know. I liked that they opened with that, and it also like sets the scene.
Yeah, I thought about the quote for every single person's motive.
Yeah.
And people we've talked about kind of, except Grimm.
Because Grimm is here.
He's wholesome.
He's here to be wholesome.
Not Grimm.
Ungrim. Uncrimsley.
Ungrimsley.
I love it.
So.
But overall, I think Disney did a good job. If I were to give it a rating on a proper scale, outside of ours, it would be a solid like A.
Yeah.
A minus maybe at least.
I would agree. A minus at least.
Because again, although there are small things with the special effects that annoyed me, I still think that the overall like theme holds true, and it even adds more themes within it to modernize it. And
we love a modern princess.
Yes, correct. And on top of that, even if they're with the additions and the omissions, the additions that given to us add to positively add to the story, to the characters, and don't necessarily negatively affect. Whereas I feel like with others, it absolutely negatively affected them.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, well said.
So, oh man, I just
We loved it. We cried the whole time.
did.
It was
Even when we
awesome.
thought we stopped, it happened.
It happened again. Yeah. So make sure if you're going to see this and you have you have a special passion for this movie and it's something you've been anticipating, bring tissues. Please do.
Take it from the concession stands too, just in case. Those are rough, but like if that's what you got, that's
just be prepared.
Don't
quote Scar.
Don't wear mascara unless it's one.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself. But, so we recommend go see it.
Please.
Watch the original in whatever order you want. I think Color Me Courtney watched after the fact to not like prime herself.
Oh, and something we've been meaning to do and keep forgetting. Our first ride or die, Flynn E. Rider.
Shout out whoever you are on Spotify. Let us know who you are if you're comfortable. You don't have to. Yeah. You want to just be Flynn E. Rider. He's our favorite non-Prince Disney guy, so that works.
He is. But like, thank you. Like, this is us.
That's us for you.
Yes. Bum, bum. Yeah. So thank you, Flynn E. Rider, and hopefully you hear this and you reach out because we want to be friends.
Yeah. So we're super thankful for all of you and everybody who's been following along while we were at Disney and like kind of waiting for this video to drop. I hope you've seen it so you can listen and kind of have thoughts. So please let us know what you think in the comments.
Yes.
DM us on Instagram. Send us an email. Answer whatever poll I'm going to post on this Spotify podcast.
Maybe if you guys like this, maybe we should record in airports more often.
I mean, we can. Yeah. I mean, we just need then to have Patreon to go on more journeys.
Yeah.
More frequently. But that works for me. Subscribe. Love us. We love you.
us. Join our family, please, on all the things. And yeah, next time we are. Oh, also something to note. We will be entering a summer schedule in terms of posting things. So that'll look like a twice a month release
as opposed to weekly.
For a multitude of reasons, we're both traveling a lot this summer, and our scholar over here is teaching a few more classes.
Busy.
And she is our main editor, and we need to respect the editor's schedule. I will also be trying to learn how to edit, so we'll see what happens. Maybe later it'll become a weekly thing, but we'll see how life goes.
Yeah, but it'll remain the same. We're gonna do a book club, but instead of just like a strictly etymology episode, for the rest of the month, you'll have like an etymology literature kind of based episode related to the book that we're reading. So stay tuned for the book list for the rest of the year, kind of.
At September. Least for some.
And we will we'll post that in the next couple of, I guess, before the June book.
Yes.
We announce it anyway.
But to give you just a heads up, it will be an LGBTQIA book.
In preparation for Pride Month. So look out for that announcement, and we love you, and we can't wait to hear from you, and we hope you read along all summer long.
Yes, please, because it'll just be more fun. Anyway, love y'all. We gotta go catch our flight. Bye.
Bye.